Vermicomposting, mga agaw, mga abay, is defined as a natural process of recycling organic materials or converting biodegradable materials into humus or compost using red worms. Since we are using or utilizing organic matter or biodegradable materials, especially coming from the kitchen, that means we are not only lessening garbage accumulation or waste accumulation at home or in the community, but also we are taking out, removing quite a number of percentage of this particular material from our landfill. And this is what's good about this project, mga agaw, mga abay. Nakatabang pata sa atong environment, sa atong inang kalikasan. We are also helping our economy and economy of the family, and at the same time we are helping regenerating our soil or our earth. Nagiskot ko ganina og economy of the family is because this project can lead us to making or creating a livelihood. For your information, ang kilo sa red worms or gitawag na nilang African night crawler or red wrigglers is from I think 700 or 800 to 1,200. So that's the pricing here in Cebu. That's for the price for the worms only, no? The composting worms. Lahi ang presyo sa vermicast or vermi, yeah, the pure vermi or poo of the worms. It's expensive, no? I learned that I think one sack or one bag of that is about 800 to 1,000. Okay, ang price. And then the price of the vermicompost is also different. Okay, so vermicompost, that means it's already the mixture or composition of vermicast and organic matter, katong mga gisgutan nato nga mga biodegradable materials na convert into compost. So the price of this one is different, no? It's a lot lesser than the pure vermicast. Okay, so naa siguro sa mga 500, 250 to 500 per bag nga ingon ana ang presyo. So makatabang gyud siya sa ekonomiya sa pamilya, especially kung atong tutukan ang maong project. Okay, so sayon ra kaayo ni siya himuon. You can do this any time of the year. You can do this small scale, medium scale, or even large scale, no? Depende nimo, depende sa imuhang kakugi o depende pod sa imong time and of course energy. Okay, you can do it at home. You can place your bin or factory in under the sink, under your bed, or even in your parking area. Basta dili lang siya mahilabtan sa mga animals like iro or iring. Okay, or anang atong mga favorite nga mga insekto sa balay, mga RATS. So what are the things needed to start a vermi factory? Okay, so we will discuss this in length, mga agaw, mga abay.
A few moments later.
So this is our small worm factory, mga agaw, mga bay, and we call this worm bin. Okay, so we are using this material. I think you're familiar with this one. This is from an ice cream company. Okay, this one has a lid, no, cover. Okay, so you can use the cover later once you are done. We are done with the procedure. Okay, so yung unang gagawin sa material na ito is we have to bore holes, no? Gagawan natin ng holes dito close to the brim of this container. Okay, dito also here on this side. Okay, or maybe around, no, you can do that around, no, close to the brim. Okay, and the purpose for that is for air circulation, for oxygen. Okay, kailangan kasi ng ating worms, because they're living organism, they need oxygen, okay, to circulate freely on top of our material or bedding. Okay, second is we need to bore holes at the bottom also here. Okay, at the bottom. Why is that? Because our worms are very sensitive to flooding. Okay, if we don't have holes at the bottom, tendency is we will flood, no, the material. Okay, especially if we spray water on the material, because we need to keep the material damp, no, in order that our worms will survive, no, in the environment. Kasi if the material or the bedding is too dry, our worms will not survive. Okay, so we see to it that the bedding is not too dry and not too wet also. So that's the purpose of the holes at the bottom, to keep the, you know, our worms, no, safe. Now the next material that we are going to need is the bedding itself, no, itong, you know, organic matter. Sa akin ay itong decaying organic matter from coconut. So I got this from, you know, the ground where I place those buko fruits, no, yung mga skull ng mga buko. I left it for 2 weeks, and then of course yung mga worms, they feast on them because it has still meat on the skull, buko meat on the skull. So that's why ganito na yung hitsura ng ating, you know, material. So parang may mga granules, no, para mga oblong, mga granules. Those are poo of the worms, no. So we call them casting, worm castings already. So this material is mixed with castings. Okay, but there are lots of organic matter that's not yet totally decayed or degraded like this one, no? Okay, another material that we need is paper products. So any paper products, carton, paper, bond paper, newspaper, books, including receipts, no, but this has to be shredded, no, into smaller pieces and then soak with water before mixing it into the bedding. Okay, why do we need to mix our bedding with paper products? Okay. Paper products are one of the favorite of our red worms, no? They love to, you know, ingest this type of material. Okay. Okay, another material that we need for our vermi factory is this one. So these are kitchen scrap. These are sayote peels and kamatis, tomato, and this is eggshell. Okay, for the eggshell we have to crush the eggshell if you want to mix this with the bedding. Okay, so since these chunk are too big, no, so we need to chop these materials into smaller pieces, no, so our worms can ingest them in no time. Okay, so that's the food for our worms, no. Since our bedding is too small, we only need a small amount of this food, no, to bury here inside. Don't mix this material to the bedding, okay, because the tendency is if we mix this material into the bedding will heat up, because this is nitrogen, no, this is a nitrogen material, and it's not yet processed. Okay, so if we mix that there, the tendency is it will heat up the material, and since our worms are very sensitive to heat, they will not survive. So far that's all that we need for our worm bin. So again, we have a container, bedding, we have a food for the worms, kitchen scrap, paper products, shredded paper products, what else, dried leaves, and you can put sawdust if you like, and then of course the last is red wrigglers, okay, or our worms, red worms. In this case we already have our red worms inside. They're already hiding because they are very sensitive to light and heat. Okay, so they're inside. Okay, what to avoid, what materials to avoid? Okay, number one is oil. So dapat walang oil sa bedding natin. Walang milk, no bones whatsoever, meat bones or fish bones. Okay, so another thing to avoid is citrus products, no, so the one that I mentioned a while ago. Okay, so we will try to see if our worms are here. They're somewhere down there. Okay, so there they are. So these are our red worms. Mga bay. Okay, so actually they're hiding inside, and they like dark, cool environment, so that's why they stay close to the bottom. Okay, if their food is on top in this particular place here, they will just come up and ingest those materials, or ingest their food. Okay, yeah. Okay. They burrow very fast. Okay, so this is how big they are. They're about mga 4 to 5 inches in length, and just as smaller as my chopstick. Okay, in size. Okay, so that's how big they are. And how small they are, of course, when they're baby, they're very tiny. You hardly see them when they're very tiny. They're very small. Okay, so keep your bedding moist or damp, so avoid keeping it dry for a longer time, because it will, jeopardize the lives of your worms. Okay, so that's it mga agaw, mga bay. We're done with our vermicomposting. Okay, so in just 1 month or so, or 2, this will become humus or compost. You cannot see anymore this material, no? This one, it's all black and all with like this granular materials, like oblong. Okay, so my chicken is already, I think, going after the worms. Ooh. Okay, this is not for you. So this is how to culture worms. Okay, especially red wrigglers. So I hope you have enjoyed our video, or you have learned something. Did you? So see you next time to update you with our project. Again, thank you, and abrigado. Au revoir. Abrigado. Arigato gozaimasu. Salamat po.